everyone, it's Jamie here from Design Your Audacious Dreams. Today I want to jump on here and send all of us lovely manifesting generators a message about how and why our mistakes are our greatest assets. For those of you guys who aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, this is about human design. It's a beautiful way to really identify how you've been designed as a human, and it gives you insights into the best way for you to navigate your life to achieve everything that you've ever desired. It's a highly customized, personalized process, and it's similar to astrology and numerology in that sort of a way, and it applies those implements, but it's a more modern process that has a lot of ancient wisdom weaved into it. So it incorporates astrology, Hinduism, particularly with like the chakras. Human design has its own interpretation of the what they refer to as their energy centers. There's also Yi Jing and Kabbalah blended in as well. So it's a lovely, highly personalized process, and it's absolutely wonderful because there are so many different strategies and executions that a person can follow, right? And so, for example, some people do really well in business by being proactive, while other people do tremendously well by being passive. And it's all contingent on how you've been designed and what's going to be best for you. Now, there's 5 different personality types, but today I'm going to be focusing primarily on manifesting generators because it's the one that's the least discussed. And because it's a combination of the two other ones, a manifestor and a generator, I'm going to quickly go over those because they're relevant. So a manifestor is, out of all of the personality type, the ones that are most easily able to manifest their goals. They're naturally more organized and goal-oriented, and I don't know if they're necessarily more linear, but they're able to execute what they envision more easily and more readily. And this has to do with because their throat center is the most it's what they're connected to, and as a result of that, they're able to express themselves. There's clarity, and out of all of the personality types, they are the first ones that can most readily start and execute their goals. Now, the other thing about a manifestor, though, is that what's so absolutely vitally important is that if you're a manifestor, you have to make room for rest when you work, because if you don't do that, you're going to crash and it's not going to be sustainable. While it's easiest for you to get started, in order to sustain that, you need to listen to your body and give yourself those breaks. And also along the way, you want to inform people of what you're doing. If you don't do that, one of the emotional themes that are going to show up in your life is anger. And it's like, why is this happening? It's because you are so goal-oriented, and most people don't think and operate like you. In order to be on the same page, you have to inform people and let people know what's going on. Now, part of the reason why manifestors are so successful at executing their goals is because they're naturally able to repivot as necessary. When you start doing something, things don't always unfold the way you expect to, and so it's really important to adapt to whatever's happening, and manifestors are able to most easily do that. Now, take a generator on the other hand. As the name suggests, a generator is able to generate constantly, and they have the most potent source of energy available to them aside from manifesting generators. So to simplify this, I'm going to start referring to manifesting generators as MG. So Gs and MGs are the most energized, and it's because they're most connected to their sacral energy center, which is like human design's version of their sacral chakra. And so this allows generators to really just get started, to sustain themselves over a long period of time. But the thing with the generator is that it's so important for you to get the green light from the universe, because part of your journey is to practice patience. So your strategy is to respond to things. And so if you have to wait to respond to something, then obviously you don't want to just rush into things. So for example, when I started my first my group coaching program, I booked out instantly because I finally let go of the idea that I was so frustrated I could not for the life of me create modules and present a program to my clients. So I went on Facebook Live in my group and I told everyone, if you're interested in working with me, let me know what's going on, what you want support with in your life, and I can let you know how I can guide you. And that way, people were able to make an informed decision about whether they wanted to work with me or not. I literally created an environment where I responded to something, and that's how I booked out. So that's the thing with the generator, is that you're not necessarily going to get started right away as quickly as a manifestor. If you get started without getting that green light, it is like pulling teeth. So you want to wait for that green light. That's part of your journey to practice patience. And once you do, you're like a fast-moving train. You're able to just go right away. Now, the thing about a generator, though, is that once you commit to something, you have to follow through with it. That's just part of your design, even if you don't want to, which is why it's so important to be selective about what you commit to. So take advantage of the fact that things are going to take time, so that you can really make sure that you're aligned to something. Now, the thing about an MG is it's so interesting. Some people say that it's not another personality type. It's just another type of generator. I personally disagree with that as an MG myself. We have a very different and unique energy. We are individually a manifestor, individually a generator, and then we're an entity all completely different as well. So similar to a generator, we have lots and lots of energy. We can just keep going and going and going. But unlike a generator, we can repivot and we can just let go of things that don't serve us as readily as a manifestor. So that's where there's kind of some differences. But here's the thing that I've noticed is that in a lot of different modality, a lot of different people have different things to say about MGs. They say you're like a generator with manifesting qualities, and you have lots of energy. You want to tire yourself out before going to bed. And then some people say you're actually more like a manifestor, and you don't want to go to bed exhausted. Start going to bed before you're tired and tire yourself out by reading a book or watching TV, whatever kind of allows you to unwind. And what I've found personally is that it really depends on my energy and mood based on, am I more vibing with a manifestor energy or a generator energy? And that shifts from moment to moment. So really tune into your body. I do find that I definitely resonate more with the generator as far as connecting with yes-no energy and really having that intuitive hit. I have to wait for things, absolutely. But the thing with us is that our emotional theme, if we're not being patient, if we're not waiting to respond, if we're not informing people, once we get to a stage where informing is necessary, you're going to experience anger and frustration, both of the emotional themes that show up for manifestors and generator. So initially, as an MG, you want to place yourself in a situation where you get to respond. So this is something that's not talked about, but this is something that I've found to be useful, is to kind of announce something, right? And so it's like a PSA almost. And that way I give the universe an opportunity to respond to it. Is this a yes? Is this a no? And also looking for signs from the universe, being open to it, or what I like to refer to as life confirmations. Particularly with MGs, what happens is that you might get a yes energy, but it's not time yet, because MGs are the fastest moving energy. And so the thing is, we find the quickest way to finish something, but as a result of that, we might make mistakes, we might skip steps, and this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. How the mistakes that you make as an MG are actually assets, because part of our journey is to respond. When we respond to things, that's how we generate success. So the thing is, for example, if I'm launching a program and I put something together really, really quickly, right? I go ahead and I post it, I might forget to include a few things, and then I go back and say, oh, I forgot, oh, by the way, just to let you guys know, the program starts on this date, right? That way, I'm able to respond, but also people who are interested will reach out to me and say, hey, when does this program start? Which gives me an opportunity to respond. In the past, I used to constantly notice that I would make mistakes and I would get so frustrated, I'd criticize myself. And in the future, what I used to do is I would start more slowly and carefully to prevent those mistakes so that I didn't have to go back and fix them. But that just wasn't sustainable because I'm meant to move quickly. If I'm not moving quickly, it's just that flow doesn't work for me. And I realized, oh my God, my mistakes and the steps that I skip give people an opportunity to reach out to me, and then I get to respond to it. So really, this is a built-in hack. I like to refer to it as a success hack. It's an amazing thing. And this is something that people don't talk about. They constantly say as an MG, it's okay that you do that, just go back and fix it. But to the voice in you that feels really shitty, that feels like you have to do things correctly, I want you to realize, no. This is a gift and a blessing from the universe. If I did everything correctly, which I used to do in the past, like one of the most common business recommendations that you're given is when you're launching something, list all of the information, put your prices available, make it easy for people to want to buy. Whenever I did that, that didn't work because it didn't present an opportunity for people to reach out to me, ask me questions so that I could respond. So arguably you can say, well, that's a little negligent. How are you going to post a program, say that it costs this much and not put a payment link? But that has been a wonderful asset for me. I provide enough information so that people are able to make an informed decision about whether engaging with me is worth their time. Because time is the only unrenewable source of energy, and I think it's so important to be mindful and considerate of that. But as an MG, so what I do is, let me walk you through the order. I do almost like a PSA. I let people know what I'm kind of interested in, playing with the idea of it. And this is really valuable because as an MG, I can change my mind unlike a manifestor, unlike a generator, but the best way for me to know whether something's for me or not is to taste it, kind of dip my feet into it. So I just kind of like feel around and say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. What do you guys think? And then people respond, right? Or like I get an opportunity to respond, and then I reprocess that information. I kind of visualize, how does this feel? And then I inform, and there are these different layers. Now, different people who practice human design have different orders that they recommend, but I find that depending on which energy I resonate with, manifestor or generator, I switch it up. But basically the things that you want to focus on is to respond, to inform, to reprocess that information, to visualize it. Visualizing is the way that you taste the experience to see if it's really for you. And give yourself permission to make those mistakes, because those are pockets of opportunities for people to reach out to you, for people to respond so that you can get the results that you desire. Okay, I always tell my clients it's better to work with yourself rather than against yourself. Your habits serve you. They're there for a reason. Work with it. It's about identifying why it's an asset and leveraging that. All right? Let me know how this resonates with you. If you're an MG, comment below, or even a manifestor or generator, anyone really, let me know what your experience is. If you've had, and share with us what works for you. And if you like this, please like this video and share it with other MGs. I feel like it's so important for MGs to create our own community, because I feel like we get kind of clumped up with a generator, and we're meant to have our own space. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you all. Bye.